Okay, good evening and welcome. It is March, April, May 17th, 2021. This is a specially scheduled, is that a word, specially?
It is.
A special requested school committee meeting to discuss the FY 2021 school budget. This meeting is being taped. I don't even have the agenda. I'm sorry. Somebody have the agenda.
Oh, I do. There you are. Here.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Fine.
Okay, excuse me. Sorry. This meeting is being held remotely in accordance with the Governor of Massachusetts March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. We have the entire committee in attendance this evening. We have no minutes for approval. We do have an opportunity for visitors to address the committee. If anybody is in the audience and would like to speak, now would be the time to do so. If you are on the Zoom call, you can simply raise your hand. Not seeing any.
Oh, there's one.
Mega one.
Is that my friend Sid Starks? Bring him in.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, Sid, we can hear you.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Hey, can you guys widen out the camera so we can see all the committee members? I don't want to see anybody asleep there.
We're all awake.
Sid, do you have video?
Somewhere. Hey, I didn't shave today. I don't want you guys to see me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead then. What can we do for you tonight, Sid?
No, that was the question. I just accidentally hit the hand, and it's like, if you can widen out, that's great.
Yeah, Don's on it. He'll jump on who's ever speaking. He tends to move around so you get a good view. You know, we got the master at the controls, so.
That's true. All right, thanks, guys. Have a good meeting.
We'll see you. Thanks. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else out there want to speak? If not, we will move forward. So the only item for business that we have is a discussion of the FY22 budget development process. We have some new occurrences within the town. We just wanted to update folks on exactly what was going on. We hope to have some audience members today for some discussion, but that didn't happen. So just in general, our discussion has been around the FY22 budget to go back to the beginning of the process where we followed the charter, meeting with the town manager, town council. The consensus of both the town manager and the council was that we should shoot for a level services budget. Certainly the school department has initiatives and things that we'd like to accomplish that we see value in, but we understood the uncertainty of the year this year with COVID, and with all due respect, submitted a level services budget to the T. So we had done that. The town manager has reviewed it. It's gone to the town council. The town council has sent it to their self-appointed financial oversight committee. We met with the financial oversight committee last week. Sarah, Pam, Gordon, and myself had a lengthy discussion, talked about some federal grants, talked about some of the initiatives we'd like to accomplish. We discussed potentially 2 additional positions that we would look to fund through some of that grant money in terms of some social emotional adjustment counselors, and then talk about funding those in the future through the operating budget. And just went over what our level services budget looked like. The discussion seemed to go relatively well, and I felt semi-confident that coming out of there we were all on the same page. However, last week, the Financial Oversight Committee, again appointed by the town council, in fact, appointed by the town council president, decided that they would recommend a cut to level services for the school department of over $400,000. If that goes through, which last year went through the town council pretty quickly, the recommendation of the Financial Oversight Committee over our request, that would mean a cut to level services, and that means a cut to staffing here at East Long Meadow Schools. We're not aware, and that's why we invited the council president this evening. We invited the council vice president this evening. We invited the Finance Oversight Committee chair and any member of the Finance Oversight Committee who'd like to come and just help us understand the financial emergency that we're not aware of, why the cut was made last Thursday afternoon at a Financial Oversight Committee for their recommendation to the town council. Where was I going with that? So with that, we were hoping to have any of those people come tonight and help us understand why we're looking to cut up to 6 positions here in the schools. Last year, as many of you might remember, we cut 5 positions, or we were requested to reduce our full-time employees by 5 because of the crisis. There was a financial question, and we worked with the town, and we cut many useful positions that we again, our superintendent reiterated that are necessary to run the schools efficiently and do best by our students. But we did what we were asked to this year because we agreed with the assessment and went for level services. So if we look at 5 cuts to our budget last year, 5 positions, or up to 6 potentially this year, that's 11 positions across the district, which to me is devastating. It's going to affect the classrooms. It's going to affect certainly staffing at many levels. Morale will certainly be affected. And it, for me, it would be one thing if I understood what the financial emergency, financial crisis is in this town, but I don't. And so, again, we were hoping to have this meeting to have that discussion with other members of the community, town council members, or Financial Oversight Committee members. None of them committed to attending. So what I would say to that is certainly we can re-invite them for our next meeting next Tuesday. Next Monday, thank you. I will make myself available to either the Financial Oversight Committee tomorrow, which they've already told us that we can't come, and certainly to the town council next week to speak at their meeting, because I think it's important that the people of East Long Meadow know what's going on. And to be honest, I'm not 100% comfortable with the process, because the Financial Oversight Committee is not something that's laid out in the charter. It was something that was created ad hoc, appointed by the council president. And so to that effect, if the town council says level services, the town manager says level services, then why does the Finance Oversight Committee get to have different priorities? They're not the elected board. We all answer the voters. Town council answer the voters. Town manager answer the town council. So this board is kind of out on an island, which is why I feel like on a Thursday afternoon, they could come up with an arbitrary number to just cut our budget, which means cutting, again, staff at the public schools here in East Long Meadow. We're just having trouble understanding the financial emergency. If anybody's willing to come explain it to us, our families are certainly concerned. Our staff is concerned at this point. We're here to work together collectively. You know, there is grant money available in the town. The federal government has sent money down to the state level and down to the local level. That money is available both to the town and to the school. We're willing to make any kind of discussion about budgeting with the town council, even the Finance Oversight Committee, if that's the process that the council chooses to use. But to make this cut, we never talked about a cut when we met with them last week. Financial Oversight Committee never asked what a financial impact of a $400,000 plus cut would make. Never even brought the topic up. And then to last Thursday, without any input, make that recommendation to the town council is devastating.
Plus the cuts from last year.
Plus the cuts from last year. 5 additional positions last year, potentially 6 this year. So up to 11 positions, and where's the emergency? So that's really what we were looking for answers tonight. I don't know if anybody else wants to
Sure, Ben.
add in a little bit. Sure, Beth, go
Say
ahead.
it.
Yep.
All right, in the last year and a half, the union, the staff, the vendors, the collaborative, the students, the parents, and more have endured the most enormous effort to educate our students. It's been unprecedented. The whole thing's been unprecedented. I get it. Everybody's done their job. That said, this is, of all the concerns that we had, getting our kids back into school, keeping them safe, dealing with staff that couldn't come in due to illnesses or families who were sick, having teachers out on any given day because they have to quarantine, all right, finding staff to fill those spots. Of this entire year and a half, the biggest concern that this committee has had is the fact that the Finance Oversight Committee cannot have the decency to talk to us and to have a little conversation. This is our biggest concern. After a year and a half, that this budget shortfall. Did they bother to visit our schools this year? Did they bother to see the Herculean event? Did they bother to talk to the parents who suffered this past year trying to educate their kids, as helping to educate as we got them in? We don't even know what we're going to get next year in terms of our students' educational, emotional, or educational levels. We have no idea. And the federal money that is being given to us is money that is supposed to help set us up for the next year and a half. And I think that this Financial Oversight Committee thinks that, oh, we're getting federal money, it's like free. But it's not free. This stuff costs money. This is expensive. And the fact that they can't have the decency to come to this meeting is an atrocity. All right? Now, we're looking at the deficiencies in terms of our children, the students of this school, the students of this town, our kids, because they're all our kids, whether you gave birth to them or not, they're the kids of this town. And they deserve to get what they need moving forward. If we have to take this hit between last year where we worked with them to eliminate positions and this year, it is 11 positions. It's devastating. It's absolutely devastating. Our children are going to get the brunt of this. And I think that that's a shame. And our town is better than that. Mm-hmm. And this town council and the Financial Oversight Committee that is appointed, by the way, we don't get a choice. We don't get to vote for these people. Shouldn't have quite that much power. Okay.
I thank my friend and my colleague for her words of passion, because I know you mean it, Beth.
No, I do. It's ridiculous.
We're all.
In the 10 years I've been on this board, 10 years, we have worked with our town. We have cut budgets severely. We have worked as a team, but this is not a team approach. This is, we are the God and we're going to tell you what you can do. And that's inappropriate.
Well, and I think to that point though, Beth, we have been working.
Yeah.
We provided a ton of documentation. We met, as Greg alluded to, prior to this meeting. There was no conversation regarding any form of cuts being made. We were provided, I think, with upwards of 13 questions that we needed to be prepared to speak to for that meeting. We were ready to speak to all of those. Documents were provided to speak to all of those. We addressed the concerns that they had, and we provided answers. And we also spoke at that meeting about the fact that we don't know what is going to come. We don't know what students are going to bring to us, what faculty is going to bring to us over the course of the next year and a half. And that's why some of these federally funded grants are being meant to be spent over a period of time, so that we are able to think critically about the students and what their direct needs are, and that we're not just throwing money at a situation, but that we're being thoughtful about the ways those funds are being expended so that they're working in service of kids. That's the bottom line. Those funds are meant to work in service of the best interest of students. And to see that money is coming into districts to support with that, but yet in our town, we're saying, well, you have money, so now you're going to lose money from the town. It's not meant to replace what we are typically receiving in terms of funding. It's meant to support, because they are recognizing that we're in unprecedented times, and that those needs need to be met with different resources, and different resources cost money. And they certainly do not mean we need a reduction in staff. That makes zero sense. To think that we're going to go into a year, again, like no other, and now be down 11 positions, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And again, they should be here to talk to us about it, as we've gone to talk to them every time they've asked for something or requested documents. There's never been a time when they've asked, that I'm aware of, that they've asked for something and we have not met or we've not provided it. So to not show up tonight is really shameful.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that I only gave it limited opportunity and time and upfront notice for them to attend tonight. A couple days for the council members and just today for the oversight committee. But it would have been nice to have someone to answer the questions, because we have questions
Or respond.
in the townspeople.
The only comment I'm going to make is, if there is a financial crisis that we don't know about, please come and explain it to us, and we are more than willing to work with you.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, this seems just kind of arbitrary right now, and that's, I think, what upset all of us, because nobody saw it coming. I appreciate the communication. You guys thought everything was going great last Monday, and then all of a sudden, by Thursday, the landscape changed. If there's a financial crisis, please come to our meeting next Monday And please have a conversation with us, and we are willing to work with you.
I can give an example just for anybody who's watching. The federally funded free lunch program for every child in America this year. That was a wonderful thing. But guess what? It cost us almost $1 per meal or more in some instances. $1, an extra dollar above and beyond what we got to package this food and to get it to our kids. They're even still having to package the food separately in different ways, even if the kids are in. That's $1 for every single meal that has been given out for free to anybody in this town. Happy to do it. Our lunch program is devastated. There's nothing left in that account at the end of the year. Money comes from somewhere, and that's what the ESSER money's for. Things like that.
Because the free lunch continues next year.
And it does continue next year. Hopefully we don't have to package it. But that's not going
But
to
it's
feed
still-
our children the right amount.
that
because
income-
it costs more than
right.
what the federal government gives us to feed the kids than just to make a proper meal for them.
Correct.
Okay, so I think the ball is in the Finance Oversight Committee's court and the Town Council's court for some explanations to us and to help us better understand why the Financial Oversight Committee is recommending cuts to the school department staff. I just don't understand. So if they can help us explain, certainly, as I said, I'd be willing to go to their meetings. If they'd like to come to our meeting next Monday, that invitation is now extended, and I will do it formally as well. Let's work this through as a town, but this isn't working, not for the kids of this town. And you know, and we're all passionate about it because in the end, it will affect the students of East Long Meadow if we start cutting more staff. And for me, unnecessarily, kind of arbitrarily, to your point. So we're on it. We'll keep moving forward. I appreciate everybody's time tonight. I appreciate everybody's discussion and forward leaning on this, and we're on it. Just to let the town know we're on it. And I would ask that the Finance Oversight Committee reconsider their recommendation tomorrow. They have a meeting tomorrow afternoon, and then they come forward next week to the Town Council. So I would ask that they reconsider and go back to level services, because any cut to our level services budget is a cut to staffing here at East Long Meadow Public Schools. And then I would ask the council to reconsider or consider not taking their recommendation and going with their initial request of level services and to fund the teachers and the staff here at East Long Meadow Public Schools for the students. So we put it out there, we set the line. So now we'll hold feet to the fire on it. So if no one else has anything else, I'd recommend a motion to adjourn. I'm going to leave that other option for
Greg?
another meeting.
Greg, did you want to say anything about the stipend?
No, I'm going to save that for another meeting, Pam.
Okay,
Thank you.
All right. Motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion made by Bill.
Second.
Seconded by Antonella. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, nay. That motion carries 5-0. We are adjourned, and have a good night.